ISIS, Islamic State at the heart of the Middle East, Iran going nuclear, Russia on the move, China claiming territory that it doesn't really have a right to.
Reports by the day that show Russian troops are going further into southeastern Ukraine and helping turn the tide.
Can they be defeated without addressing that part of their organization which resides in Syria? The answer is no.
We're actively considering what's going to be necessary to deal with that threat, and we're not going to be restricted by borders.
Airstrikes. Bomb them. Bomb them. Keep bombing them. Bomb them again and again.
You don't have this face as if you were born yesterday. If you're born yesterday, you believe whatever anybody in authority tells you. You have no way of checking up on it. But with a little history, you might become dubious. With a little history, it doesn't prove that the government is lying to you today. It just asks you to inquire if it is.
Contrary to popular belief, the conduct of nations on the international stage is almost never driven by moral considerations, but rather by a shadowy cocktail of money and geopolitics. As such, when you see the mouthpieces of the ruling class begin to demonize a foreign country, the first question on your mind should always be, what is actually at stake here? For some time now, Russia, China, Iran, and Syria have been in the crosshairs. Once you understand why, the events unfolding in the world right now will make much more sense. The US dollar is a truly unique currency. In fact, its current design and its relationship to geopolitics is unlike any other in history. Though it has been the world reserve currency since 1945, this is not what makes it unique. Many currencies have held the reserve status off and on over the centuries. But what makes the dollar unique is the fact that since the early 1970s it has been, with few notable exceptions, the only currency used to buy and sell oil on the global market. Prior to 1971, the US dollar was bound to the gold standard, at least officially. According to the IMF, by 1966, foreign central banks held $14 billion in US dollars. However, the United States only had $3.2 billion in gold allocated to foreign holdings. Translation: the Federal Reserve was printing more money than it could actually back. The result was rampant inflation and a general flight to the dollar. In 1971, in what later came to be called the Nixon shock, President Nixon removed the dollar from the gold standard completely.
I have directed the Secretary of the Treasury to take the action necessary to defend the dollar against the speculator. I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets, except in amounts and conditions determined to be in the interest of monetary stability and in the best interest of the United States.
At this point, the dollar became a pure debt-based currency. With debt-based currencies, money is literally loaned into existence. Approximately 70% of the money in circulation is created by ordinary banks, which are allowed to loan out more money than they actually have in their accounts. The rest is created by the Federal Reserve, which loans out money that they don't have, mostly to the government. It's kind of like writing hard checks, except it's legal for banks. This practice is referred to as fractional reserve banking. It's supposedly regulated by the Federal Reserve, an institution which at this point happens to be under control by conglomerates and banks. No agency or branch of government regulates the Federal Reserve. There's always more towards debt than there is money in circulation, and in order to stay afloat, the economy has to grow and protect. This is obvious, not sustainable. And you might be wondering how the dollar has maintained such a dominant position on the world stage for over 40 years. It's really little more than an elaborate Ponzi scheme. Well, this is where the dollar is. In 1973, under the shadow of the artificial debt crisis, the Nixon administration profits to the U.S. banks and capital markets. The IMF even uses money to facilitate loans to oil imports, so we're having difficulties covering the increase in oil prices. Payments on these loans are of course denominated in U.S. dollars. This agreement was formalized in the U.S.-Saudi Arabian Joint Commission on Economic Cooperation, put together by Nixon's Secretary of State, Henry Kissinger, in 1974. The system was expanded to include the rest of OPEC by 1975. Though presented as a buffer to the recessionary effects of rising oil prices, this arrangement had a hidden side effect. It removed the traditional restraints on U.S. monetary policy. The Federal Reserve was now free to increase the money supply at will. The ever-increasing demand for oil would prevent the flight to the dollar, while distributing the inflationary consequences across the entire planet. The dollar went from being a gold-backed currency to an oil-backed currency. It also became America's primary export. Did you ever wonder how the U.S. economy has been able to stay afloat while running multi-billion-dollar trade deficits for decades? Did you ever wonder how it is that the U.S. holds such a disproportionate amount of the world's wealth when 70% of the U.S. economy is consumer-based? In the modern era, fossil fuels make the world go round. They have become integrated into every aspect of civilization. Agriculture, transportation, plastics, heating, defense, medicine, and demand just keeps growing. As long as the world needs oil, and as long as oil is only sold in US dollars, there will be a demand for US dollars, and that demand is what gives the dollar its value. For the United States, this is a great deal. Dollars go out, either as paper or digits in a computer system, and real, tangible products and services come in. However, for the rest of the world, it's a very sneaky form of exploitation. Having global trade predominantly in dollars also provides Washington with a powerful financial weapon through sanctions. This is due to the fact that most large-scale dollar transactions are forced to pass through the U.S. This petrodollar system stood unchallenged until September of 2000, when Saddam Hussein announced his decision to switch Iraq's oil.
We have, as you say, ISIS, Islamic State at the heart of the Middle East, Iran going nuclear, Russia on the move, China claiming territory that it doesn't really have a right to.
Reports by the day that show Russian troops are going further into southeastern Ukraine and helping turn the tide.
Can they be defeated without addressing that part of their organization which resides in Syria? The answer is no.
We're actively considering what's going to be necessary to deal with that threat, and we're not going to be restricted by borders.
Airstrikes. Bomb them. Bomb them. Keep bombing them. Bomb them again and again.
If you don't have history, it's as if you were born yesterday. If you're born yesterday, you'll believe whatever anybody in authority tells you. You have no way of checking up on it. But with a little history, you might become dubious. With a little history, it doesn't prove that the government is lying to you today. It just asks you to inquire if it is.